If you've ever scrolled through vacation photos and spotted someone pretending to hold up a famous tilting tower, you're not alone. It's one of the most iconic tourist poses in the world, and it all happens in the charming Italian city of Pisa. That's right, we're talking about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, a monument that's as famous for its gravity-defying tilt as it is for its beautiful Romanesque architecture. But behind every playful photo is a story of near disaster, scientific ingenuity, and a rescue mission that spanned centuries. What most people don't realize is that the Leaning Tower of Pisa wasn't supposed to lean at all. In fact, it came dangerously close to collapsing entirely, threatening to erase one of the world's most beloved landmarks from the map. So, how did a team of determined engineers, armed with science, creativity, and a surprising amount of patience, manage to save the tower from disaster? Let's dig into the fascinating story of how they pulled off this architectural miracle. The trouble began way back in the 1100s, when construction first started. The tower was meant to be a grand bell tower for Pisa's cathedral, but the builders quickly ran into a problem. The ground beneath the city was made up of soft, squishy clay and sand, mixed with ancient river deposits. This unstable foundation couldn't support the tower's massive weight, and by the time the second floor was finished, the whole structure had already started to lean. Over the centuries, builders and architects tried all sorts of creative, sometimes downright bizarre, solutions to stop the tilt. They added extra stone blocks to one side, hoping to balance things out. They built the upper floors taller on one side than the other, trying to compensate for the lean. But these fixes only made the tower look more and more like a giant stone banana. The result? A tower that twisted and curved as it rose, giving it that unmistakable whimsical shape that's become a symbol of both architectural beauty and human stubbornness. But as the centuries passed, the lean only got worse. By the late 20th century, the tilt had reached a terrifying 5.5 degrees, so extreme that the top of the tower was nearly 4.5 meters off-center. In 1990, officials made a tough decision. They closed the tower to visitors for the first time in its history, fearing it could collapse at any moment. The world watched anxiously as Pisa's most famous landmark teetered on the brink of disaster. Could anything be done to save it? That's when a team of international engineers and scientists, true superheroes in hard hats, arrived on the scene. Their mission? To rescue the Leaning Tower of Pisa without destroying its unique character or historical value. Their first idea was both simple and brilliant. They stacked a whopping 600 tons of lead weights on the north side of the tower's base. Imagine the world's biggest gym session, but instead of lifting weights, they were using them to gently push the tower back toward vertical. Amazingly, this heavy-duty balancing act actually worked, at least a little. The tower's tilt decreased by a tiny amount, proving that it was possible to move the structure without causing it to collapse. But the engineers knew that a real, long-term solution would require more than just brute force. They needed to get creative, to use their brains as much as their brawn. So, they went back to the drawing board, brainstorming new ways to stabilize the tower without damaging its ancient stones. Their breakthrough idea? Instead of trying to push the tower upright from above, they decided to gently encourage it from below. By drilling tiny holes under the north side, the side opposite the lean, they could carefully remove small amounts of soil. This process, called under-excavation, allowed the tower to slowly settle back toward vertical, almost as if it were being nudged upright by invisible hands. Of course, this was a risky operation. To make sure the tower didn't suddenly tip or crack, the engineers wrapped it in a giant seatbelt made of steel cables. These cables acted as a safety net, ready to catch the tower if anything went wrong during the delicate soil removal. Over the course of more than a year, the team worked with painstaking precision. They removed about 70 tons of soil, just a few buckets at a time, constantly monitoring the tower's movement with lasers and sensors. Every tiny shift was measured, analyzed, and double-checked to make sure the tower stayed safe. The results were nothing short of miraculous. By the end of the project, the Leaning Tower of Pisa had been straightened by nearly half a degree. That might not sound like much, but it was enough to stabilize the structure and ensure it would stand for at least another 200 years while still keeping its famous photogenic tilt. Today, the Leaning Tower of Pisa is open to visitors once again, drawing millions of tourists from around the world. But next time you snap that classic holding up the tower photo, take a moment to appreciate the incredible science, teamwork, and determination that went into saving this architectural wonder. It's not just a quirky photo op, it's a testament to human ingenuity, and a reminder that even the most impossible problems can be solved with a little creativity, a lot of patience, and yes, a touch of clay magic.